Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah ta'ala wa barakatuh. Dear students of the third intermediate bilingual, our lesson today is about the trigonometric ratios. Look at me. Trigonometric ratios. What is that trigonometric ratios? Suppose we have this triangle, this right angled triangle, okay? A, B, C. Suppose we have this triangle, A, B, C, and this angle, I call it theta, okay? If we focus about this theta, this side, this leg, we call it opposite, okay? And because it lays opposite to this angle theta, okay? This side, I call it the opposite because it lays opposite to the angle theta. And this side, I call it adjacent because it touches the angle from the right. This side, hypotenuse. Yes. Opposite, المقابل. Adjacent, المجاور. Hypotenuse, الوتر. What do I mean with the trigonometric ratios? Look at this ratio. If I divide in a ratio, نسبة, a ratio, this fracture, and put in the numerator the opposite, and divided it by the hypotenuse, and divide it by the hypotenuse. I call this ratio with sine of theta. Okay, I mean sine theta equals the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the hypotenuse of the triangle. Okay, this is sine theta. Now, if I again divided the adjacent, this is number one, number two, the adjacent by the hypotenuse, I call this ratio with cosine of theta. Okay? Do not ever forget, when I divide the opposite by the hypotenuse, I get the sine. Keep it well. If I divided the adjacent side by the hypotenuse, even I will get a ratio, I call it cosine of theta. Okay? Now I have this third ratio. If I divided the opposite side by the adjacent, I will get another ratio. I call it tan of theta. Okay, honey students? It is so easy. Just focus on me, and you have to keep or to learn that the sin theta is obtained from dividing the opposite side by the hypotenuse, and the cosine theta is obtained by dividing the adjacent side by the hypotenuse. But if I divided the opposite by the adjacent, I will get another ratio. I will call it tan of theta. Okay, dear students, this is the main ratios, the main important ratios. You have to keep it very well, dear students. Let's take an example. Let's take an example about this ratios. Example number one. From the nearby figure, find the three ratios Okay, he just given me this question, and he has given me the figure, nearby figure. Here is it. Okay, now I will divide. Here is A, صوتكم بابا, B, and C. Here is theta. Look at this example. Here is A. Here is C. Here is C. Here is A. Here is B. I am free, and he is free to give me and to locate the names of the angles. Okay? Now, from this question, he asks me to find the three ratios. When he tells me the three ratios, he means the sine theta and cosine theta and tan of theta. And he fixed the length of every side, writing here 4 centimeter, and here is 5 centimeter. Okay, I come and write solution. When I want to solve this question, do not ever forget, dear students, when you want to find to solve any question in the trigonometric functions or ratios, the three-sided of the triangle have to be exist. Here is AB 4, AC 5, but AB is a noun. Here AB is a noun. Thus, I have to solve the length of AB. How can I solve it? We have to think outside of the box. Look at this right-angled triangle. In the right-angled triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the two squares of the perpendicular sides. Okay, the vertical sides. I mean, by Pythagorean, يعني مرة فيثاغورس, AC squared equals AB squared plus BC squared. By this law, I can find the missed leg in this triangle. Now I will affix all the length. AC, how is the length of AC? AC is 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters. All squared. Plus AB. It is a noun. AB squared plus BC. BC is noun, centimeter squared. Okay. I came and affixed the values of the noun legs, but the noun still alone. Now I will square the values. 5 squared to 25 centimeters squared equals AB squared plus 16 centimeters squared. Okay, why? 4 times 4, 16. Centimeter times centimeter, centimeter squared. Now, as an equation, I will move the letters in a side and the constant is in other sides. I mean 25 centimeters squared minus 16 centimeters squared equals AB squared. Okay? Now, 25 minus 16. Thus, I will put the unknown side to the left. AB squared equals 25 minus 16, 9 centimeters squared, and by taking the square root for the both sides, this will go. I mean AB equals the square root of 9, it is 3. The square root of centimeter squared, centimeter. Now I have got the length of AB, it is 3 centimeter. Now Since all the lengths exist, I can find all the ratios, dear students. I will start with the sign. Sine of theta equals the opposite AB, opposite by the hypotenuse. I mean the opposite is AB over the hypotenuse AC. AB, how much centimeters? 3 centimeters by AC 5 centimeters. Centimeter will go with what centimeter? I mean sine theta equal 3/5. Without units, I call it ratio because it is free. It doesn't contain any ratios, any units. Now, cosine of theta equals the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. The adjacent ABC by the AC. BC 4 centimeters by 5 centimeters. I cancel them. It equals 4/5. Okay, now let's go to tan theta. Tan theta equals the opposite by the adjacent wall, which equals AB over BC, which equals AB 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters. Cancel them. Tan theta equals 3/4. I mean 3/4, dear students. By this way, I can find and conclude the ratios of any triangle, the sine theta, cosine theta, and tan theta. Dear students, meet you in another lecture إن شاء الله تعالى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.